Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to Trippy Commentaries. Thanks for joining up for the late night live stream as we cover Grand Theft Auto and E3 2016. Guys, there's so many good games that were announced there. A lot that I want to talk about, especially with you guys here in the live stream. Let me know which games you are looking forward to, and of course, which games you're most excited that were released or at least announced at E3 2016. Couple that we have to mention right off the bat: Zelda, the Breath of the Wild. I really thought that one stole the show. That is my best game coming from E3 2016. And I also have to say, guys, that I was expecting a huge announcement to come from Rockstar, perhaps a single-player DLC for GTA 5. That would have been nice. How about a new expansion for GTA Online? I was even thinking that maybe Heists Part 2 could possibly be announced. That did not happen. And also Red Dead Redemption 2. So many people thought that was going to be announced, but we didn't hear anything. It is not too late. I know Rockstar is really big enough to where they can still do their own kind of announcement and still hype it up enough for later this year. But it's definitely kind of weird how we didn't hear anything, despite the fact that there was strong rumors and even signs that Rockstar was going to have a huge presence at E3. Thanks again for joining up, guys. Special shout out to Mr. Possible, who mentioned Watch Dogs 2, Call of Duty 4 by Southern Boy. Appreciate you joining up. A lot of you guys in here. Charles Hewitt. Good to see Michael Rodriguez, as always, man. Really appreciate you guys joining up as we chill and play some Grand Theft Auto 5 and go over the biggest games from E3 2016. First one I'll mention, guys. How about Titanfall 2? That's a pretty interesting game because the first Titanfall, a great multiplayer game, but I felt like still had some glitches. It wasn't perfect, and I love when they have the second game, you know, as far as video games are concerned, because it really does give them a chance to improve the formula, or in this case, perfect it. Titanfall 2, you know, you have these multiplayer games which are really getting a lot of momentum right now. Even games like CSGO are kind of having a second wind and getting more popular than ever because people are really into that multiplayer shooter. You know, that genre kind of needs a boost after getting stale for a while. Well, games like Titanfall 2 are really doing it justice because they're adding things that we didn't really think of or didn't even think were possible. Because when it comes to first-person shooters, it really is complicated. Obviously, that game gives you so much to do. Hopefully you can figure it out because it does not look easy. I also want to give a special shout out to Trippy Madison, who's hanging out here. Trippy Madison, what's going on?
Trip.
Now, I did mention Zelda. I think that is the best game from E3 2016. Madison, you've played a ton of the Zelda games.
Absolutely.
What did you think of the trailer? Do you think it looks good?
Yeah, it's really good. Are we going to play it?
I hope so. It's going to be a while, and obviously it's going to be released on 2 different consoles. One of the things they announced is that the game will be the same on both consoles. You know, that's pretty crazy because everybody was mentioning in our comments saying, hey, you know, wait up to get Zelda, the new Zelda, for the Nintendo NX. You know, that's going to be the new Zelda, or I'm sorry, new Nintendo console after the Wii U really was kind of lackluster. I mean, I had it for a while. Really wasn't too impressed with the, you know, the whole holding on to the tablet mechanic. I just like an old school controller. The motions and all that, you know, it gets old quickly for me. Well, it looks like Zelda is going to be the same for both consoles, so if you still do have the NX or if you are looking to get the new one, either way, you're going to have the same version of the newest Zelda. What do you guys think about the new Zelda? See a lot of you saying you love Zelda. I'm telling you guys, it's kind of forgotten. I mean, Skyward Sword for me was so disappointing. It just shamed the series. I know some people liked it. Way too many motion controls. But people used to get so hyped for Zelda games, guys. I mean, I'm telling you, it was the biggest game going. It was like a new Skyrim, and the fact that this new Zelda kind of looks like Skyrim, man, it's going to be so exciting. And I think it could be the best game coming up if it really is as good as it looks with all these creative upgrades and you know, obviously all the tools that you are going to receive. It looks like it could be completely epic. That said, we did not see any dungeons. Isn't that kind of weird? You know, Zelda's known for the dungeons, yet they showed off everything but dungeons in the game. You know, taking axe to trees. Madison, we've never taken an axe to random trees in a game before. You know, you've climbed trees in Assassin's Creed. How about knocking down trees to create new platforms? That's genius.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to Jason Grace saying, what's your favorite Zelda game? I think a lot of people would say Ocarina of Time, possibly A Link to the Past, even A Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Man, I did so much traveling as a young kid. As a kid, I played the hell out of A Link's Awakening. I'd have to say Ocarina of Time is my favorite Zelda game, just because when I first got the Nintendo 64, that's all I had. I got Ocarina of Time, and that's it. And honestly, that's all I needed. That game was just, it was breathtaking, especially for the time. Completely took you into the world. And, as a kid, when you're dealing with the stress of school and stuff, you really do need a game like Zelda to take you into an entirely different atmosphere. Obviously, one with dragons and whatnot is sometimes a lot better than the real world. Shout out to Carol Cannon. Try not to crash here in the jet as I read the stream. So, getting back to the list of E3 2016 games, once again, Titanfall 2. That one is coming out October 28th, 2016. Of course, that's a game where you control giant mechs, kind of like Call of Duty, only have mechs and all kinds of different play styles. They were showing you can blow up your mech, leap up into the air, and do some crazy stuff with a bungee. Definitely looks like a lot of fun. The next game I'm going to talk about here, Battlefield 1. That comes out October 21st, 2016. For those of you who were big fans of Call of Duty, I have to say that Battlefield 1, I think this is the year that they might take over. That said, it's E3, so all these games are going to get overhyped, and we've seen some games by EA and DICE that look great for the most part, but still have a lot of flaws. I think that could be the case for Battlefield 1. It does have all the makings of being better than the new Call of Duty, considering Call of Duty Infinite Warfare. I'm not even going to talk about this here as part of this video, as I think that's going to be pretty stale. I think most people are looking more forward to the new Modern Warfare remake or remastered version. Never mind the door as Trippy Madison heads out of the HQ.
Trip, trip.
Okay. Close the door behind you. So the next game, FIFA and Madden, guys. What can you say about it? They're going to have a new FIFA and a new Madden every single year. No surprise whatsoever. But this does look pretty good. I mean, the new FIFA is probably going to be a game that I'm going to pick up. Of course, here on YouTube, it's extremely popular. So let me know if you guys are going to be picking it up. But what the hell? What can you even say about the new FIFA, right? Like, yeah, improved mechanics. That's the good thing about games that they release every year. They should improve little things and make it better and better. Of course, in this case, make it more and more realistic. So hopefully that's the case with the new FIFA, because I've seen it so many times before where they talk about new mechanics being added to the game, but it really doesn't even pay off. It's almost like I wish they never even put it in the game to begin with. Alright, shout out to John Joseph 5. Really appreciate you guys chilling here as we do late night live stream. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do here as we explore Grand Theft Auto, talking about the newest games here coming our way. A lot of people were saying that there probably wasn't going to be that many good games announced at E3, but it just shows you gaming just gets bigger and bigger every year. Yeah, there's the nostalgic classics that we all love, but at the same time, these companies are really working on improving these games, and hopefully games like FIFA, Battlefield 1, we start to see it this year. How about the announcement from EA? I don't know if you guys saw the Star Wars announcement. It really wasn't any game in particular, but they basically were showing off how they were going to really start to do some really serious things. I gotta say, for as big as Star Wars is, isn't it weird how there's not enough big Star Wars games? It used to be different back in the day in the Super Nintendo, where they had Super Star Wars, all kinds of crazy stuff. You'd think they would still be doing that. I mean, even back for the original Xbox, there was Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Unfortunately, they haven't came out with a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game in a long time. Well, one of the companies that was on the banner, I guess, where they showed off the Star Wars logo with EA was BioWare. So that leads me to believe that that is going to be a massive Star Wars RPG in the making. And they did show off a little gameplay clip, and I'll put a link in the description for you guys to check these out. But they did put a slight clip from gameplay from what looks like a brand new KOTOR game. That would be amazing. Are you kidding me? Like, that would be probably better than a Fallout style game as far as taking up your time, having all these different choices, and you're in the world of Star Wars. once again, I think something that needs to be done a lot more in video games. Let me know what you guys think about new Star Wars games. What the hell, we need more. How about Star Wars Legos or whatever? You know, I think that's going to be the best one coming. I've never played any of the Lego games. They look way too simplistic for me. That said, Star Wars 1 does look pretty impressive. Go to the cave, Caesar Ezra? Alright, there's a couple different caves. Maybe head and grab a plane or something. Yeah, VR Star Wars, great comment, Shay Ortega, really appreciate that, as that's one of the things they have in mind. You're seeing with Sony come, whoa, damn, was that necessary? Sony, oh jeez, Sony's coming out with the VR, that's one thing we'll definitely be talking about, and, you know, one thing that they're certainly going to have for that is Star Wars games, and they need to, man. I love Star Wars, I'm a huge fan of the series, the new movie looks pretty good, Rogue One. So if they have all these new movies, then they better have some video games as well. Oh geez, Bus is running us over here. That's pretty ugly. Trevor survives. No more special ability. Not gonna last long. Get out of here. Go, 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 go. Cops everywhere. Damn, surprised he was able to escape from that, man. See, that's why when just free riding, you gotta control Trevor. Basically becomes invincible. Alright. You guys are messing with the wrong psychopath. But definitely great comment, like I said, with the VR Star Wars. You know, I'm not a huge fan of VR in general. Obviously, it's going to get a lot of people motion sick. But to think of that, you know, kind of being incorporated into the Star Wars universe, that is really a dream come true for some of us who have loved Star Wars for a long, long time. Now the next game I'll mention, guys, is Skyrim Special Edition. I did do a video on my reaction to the announcement of that. A lot of people rumored a Skyrim remastered, and it turned out to be true as far as the Special Edition is concerned. They're adding a ton of new features to it, and I'm really happy about that. It's probably my favorite game of all time, even better than Grand Theft Auto 5. If you have, you know, some time off from work or whatever, it's just awesome to sit and wrap your mind around Skyrim, customize your character and all that. And I haven't played it in a while. Definitely looking forward to playing it on the new console. I'm sure we'll be doing some live streams and some stuff here at the channel. Can't wait to join up with you guys for that. Nicola Walker, appreciate you joining up. Definitely thank you for making it for the live stream. So how about Dishonored 2? You know, Dishonored 1, very popular game. Got a ton of comments here on the channel, guys, of people that wanted to see some Dishonored gameplay. Well, that's a game where you control a supernatural assassin. That one is coming out with a sequel. Looking forward to that. I'm not sure, you know, if I should play the first one to kind of understand the second one. That's always the thing that you got to worry about with some of these sequels. It's like, do you need to play the first game to actually have a grasp of the storyline? That said, the gameplay looks pretty exciting and definitely looks like something I can pick up. I am looking to get a PlayStation pretty soon, a PlayStation 4, so that way I can play games like that. They're looking to actually re-release a lot of the Crash Bandicoot games. I'm a fan of those from back in the day. Definitely looking forward to get a PlayStation 4, possibly even getting the updated version, the Neo. I'll have to look into that. So tell me if you guys are going to play the new Dishonored 2. A lot of Dishonored fans out there. I know the fans are definitely, you know, pretty hardcore about that series. It's like they really want you to play it for some reason. I'll definitely be jumping into Dishonored 2. Quake Champions. You know, they just released that new Doom game, and that was pretty sick. I think that did the series justice. You know, that lets us know that a Quake game is definitely a good idea for them, considering it's going to probably be a lot of the same team members, Bethesda and all that. As our car gets stuck in the tree. Can we take their car? Look through the window. We need your car. We must use it for our own services. Doesn't look like he's going to just give it to us willingly. This is gruesome. Oh boy. Oh god. Damn it. Okay, so that time they finally got us. I figured it was coming. So Quake Champions is going to look to take advantage of the esports arena. You know, you have, as I mentioned before, CSGO kind of taking over. Unfortunately, Halo, they kind of went the way of the dodo bird with stuff like that. I mean, Halo 3 was epic as hell. It's too bad that they really aren't that popular anymore. I think that, obviously, we could see Quake come into the fray. They could be the next big esports arena. I'm looking forward to it, because based on the gameplay that they showed off, I mean, we don't really have a lot to go by, but it definitely looks like they have, they have the right intentions after seeing what they did with Doom. Of course, speaking of Bethesda. Now, the next game that I'll mention is a new Prey. A lot of you probably haven't even heard of the original Prey. I gotta say, those games were epic. You get abducted by aliens, and you're basically just trying to find your way around an alien ship. I think that games that imaginative really aren't made enough. So many people kind of concentrate on the same exact type of ideas. Well, Prey is one of those games that really is truly unique. In the first Prey, you control this Indian character at a bar. You have to do some BSing with a few characters. Next thing you know, you're getting abducted by aliens. The whole bar is getting taken over, and it's getting sucked up. So once you're into the alien ship, you kind of escape after going through like some conveyor belts and stuff. And then you see some of the characters that brutally die right in front of you. Hopefully the new storyline, because the new one, the storyline looks interesting. You kind of get abducted and then confront yourself or something. So hopefully they do some things along the same line. Let's cause some destruction here. Grab the RPG. You cannot escape. Whoa. Shout out to Patrick Lasita. Did not see the game called Everything. You'll have to let me know what that's about. Of course, there are so many games that were released, or information that was released, that it's really hard to keep up with everything, and I'll try to do my best at covering what I think are going to be the biggest games that we'll be covering here at the channel and looking forward to. Obviously, a lot of these games are coming out this year. That's doesn't take too long to get some of these games that look like they are on the next level, including the new Prey. Looking forward to that one, guys, as they actually released information on that one, but we don't know when it is going to come out. Probably going to be sometime in 2017 or something like that. Whoa! I was hoping to use that bike. Okay, not going to use that cop car. That one looks a little bit damaged. Wow, that man is on fire right there. Let's go ahead and take this SUV right here. So Fallout 4, guys, is going to be another one of those games that they're going to release a VR version. We just talked about virtual reality. I think Fallout 4 being in VR, I've talked about it, how that's really one of the biggest simulators you can play. And having it in virtual reality, is that going to be too intense? That almost might be a little bit too much to handle. Boss Sam, shout out to you. Appreciate you joining up. Let me know if you guys can handle the virtual reality. I definitely want to grab the PlayStation VR. That's one of the reasons why I'll pick up a PlayStation, because we got to do some videos trying it out. Hopefully I do not throw up while recording it. It's probably going to be pretty difficult, to say the least. So they did announce a new Gears of War. I've never been a huge fan of Gears of War, to be honest. I think it's really repetitive. So we'll see how this new one compares to the old ones. It's going to be Gears of War 4. It has been so long since the last Gears of War that you think that they probably have overhauled the gameplay or the system. So we'll see. I have a feeling it's probably going to be more of the same, really concentrating on multiplayer. And that said, we're really looking forward to some great multiplayer games. And if Gears of War manages to be on point, then it could be one of them. It could be a lot of fun. But if it is just more of the same, it's something that I'll probably pass on, as I've never really got into the original Gears of Wars. Need this cop to get out of my way. Thank you very much. Gears of War will be coming out October 11th, so we do not have to wait too long for that one at all. Another game that is exclusive for the Xbox One is a brand new Dead Rising. It's going to be Dead Rising 4. That one's going to have a Christmas theme, and it is starring Frank West. A lot of you probably haven't played Dead Rising, but I really think it's one of the most underrated, if not the most underrated games out there. I'm a huge fan of Dead Rising 3. It's a lot of fun, and it does have some similarities to a game like Grand Theft Auto, where you have an open world. You can really do whatever you please. Oh, let's get some of these guys off our ass. Come on, man. Don't be running me over. take out you first. Definitely check out Dead Rising 3 if you guys have a chance. Probably not going to be the easiest one to jump back into the back catalog and play, but it is a ton of fun, and you know, really it kind of takes advantage of combos, weapon combos, and that's something that you don't see in any other game. You know, you can take two different random objects and make a lightsaber. Alright, Boss Sam, I'll go and grab a plane. We'll go, or maybe a helicopter or something like that. Call a taxi. So getting back to Dead Rising 4, the only issue I see is, you know, I'm not seeing a whole lot new being introduced into the series. We'll see what happens. You know, I'm sure just because it's a teaser trailer, they're holding off on some of the big new inventions or things that they're going to incorporate into the gameplay. You know, if they just stick with some of the stuff that's already been fun, that's cool and all, especially because we haven't had a new Dead Rising in a long time. But when you have sequels to games, you just hope for improvement. You hope for new additions. We'll see what they have in mind for the newest installment of a game where you have to face off with hordes and hordes of zombies. Shout out to Matt Willis. Really appreciate you joining up, man. Appreciate a lot of you guys who've been with us for a long time. You know, that means a lot to us, and obviously we notice that. That's for sure. Take us to the private runway, please. So let's go ahead and talk about Watch Dogs 2. That's one that a lot of you guys are looking forward to who are Grand Theft Auto fans. This one could be the one that finally reaches the series potential, because the first game looked like it could be, you know, the next great GTA style game, and it completely fell flat on its face. It was boring, too many glitches, and let's just face it, it's hard to pull off a GTA style game. You know what I mean? If you're going to pull off something this deep, then chances are you're going to fuck something up along the way. I remember there was a game back in the day called True Crime. A lot of you longtime gamers probably remember that one. But it took place in Los Angeles, and they were trying to make a straight-up Grand Theft Auto game, a game to be a GTA-style clone. And it was fun, you know, in some aspects, but for the most part it was extremely glitchy, and it just was nothing compared to Grand Theft Auto. So now you have Watch Dogs, which is pretty much the modern-day true crime, or whatever it was called. Yeah, so we'll see if this one comes around, because it is adding parkour. We really need some better controls here in Grand Theft Auto 5. It's really pretty stiff. So if they can come out with a Grand Theft Auto clone with some fluid controls, you know, of course, letting you do some parkour elements. Imagine if we were here at the Humane Labs and we can jump around on all this stuff. We've all been wanting to do that. In fact, I've talked to many people here in the Grand Theft Auto community that have been asking for improved controls or just different style. You know, that's why we want a single player DLC, because maybe they add a new character that controls differently than the stiff characters we see. Imagine if they put an Assassin's Creed-esque character into Grand Theft Auto. I think that'd be pretty epic. Jason Grace thinks Watch Dogs 2 is going to be great. You're not the only one, man. I have a lot of people who are very excited for the game. I just hope they don't fail all over again. You know, that hopefully they don't let us down, because there is a good chance that the game is not going to be good. They might be trying a little bit too hard. And that's one of the reasons why it takes so long for a new Grand Theft Auto game to come out. They really do concentrate a lot of effort on making sure it's perfect. Here's the cave you guys requested that I headed to. Here we are. Definitely an epic location in the game, and I will say I don't really visit it that much. To have this massive cave that you can fly around in, this is definitely a first time for a GTA game. We need more stuff like this. So, November 15th, 2016 is the release date for the new Watch Dogs. Another game that's not going to take too long to be released, so we'll see very soon if it is good. And I really do have a good feeling about Watch Dogs this time around. I thought their intentions were pretty good with the first one, so perhaps Watch Dogs 2, if it actually turns out to be a good game, then we have a whole nother series, much like Grand Theft Auto, look forward to. Then you could see a Watch Dogs 3 be huge, all this parkour action to do. Of course, mysteries. We're really into mysteries here, trippy commentaries, and I think that's something that could be hidden a lot in Watch Dogs 2. We'll have to see. How about Ghost Recon Wildlands? Looks pretty good, great graphics, but I've played a lot of Ghost Recon games in the past. They are very difficult, and we could definitely have the same thing going on with Ghost Recon Wildlands. Check out the trailer if you guys have not seen it. It actually shows the first level. They have gameplay and everything. Are you kidding me? All the stuff that happens, there's so many chances to fuck up. That looks pretty difficult, man. And it's funny because you go into the game saying, is this going to be as hard and as complicated as the other Ghost Recon games? Is it going to be as intricate? Well, yeah, if you look at the trailer, it definitely looks pretty intricate as guys are saying things, after another. You switch up to one character, you're grenading 3 characters, switch up to another character, and you're jumping on a motorcycle trying to catch up with a terrorist. I gotta say, there aren't too many games where you have to track down and kill terrorists. So that could be cool, man. They need to add that to Grand Theft Auto. Put a random terrorist somewhere here and we have to track him down. Trevor could be the guy to track down the terrorists. Kind of like in Suicide Squad, how the villains are the good guys. It's kind of like Trevor, man. He's a Suicide Squad kind of character. Ghost Recon Wildlands, March 7th, 2017. So that one's going to be a while before it's released. So we'll see if that one holds up. I have a feeling it's probably not going to be that great, but that's another one of those games where they sure have had plenty of time to perfect it. Maybe this is the one that actually brings the series into the limelight. Military shooters, they've always been very popular, but they've gotten stale, and I think a game like Ghost Recon, if it can really introduce some more realistic elements and then pull it off without a hitch, then that's obviously going to be very, very popular in 2017. Shout out to Bob the Gamer saying he has an idea. Yeah, I was going to get to the new God of War. Kaza, I'll go ahead and mention that now. You have a new entry into the God of War series. Very, very interesting. In fact, a lot of people thought it was an open world game when they first saw the trailer. It's a little bit different looking than, the other God of War games. I really haven't been a huge fan of the series. God of War 1 held my interest for a little bit, but everything got to be extremely repetitive. In fact, it's got to be the most repetitive game series there is. So that's why I'm wondering if they are going to incorporate some new styles. It looks like they will with the new God of War, but looking at the past, you got to say it's extremely repetitive. And with this new camera angle and all, I don't know if that is going to be enough to actually add, obviously, enough into that franchise. I think a lot of people love God of War, man. It's a loved franchise, and really, as long as it looks good and they have epic bosses and all that, then I think that it probably will be very popular. And considering I'll be getting a PlayStation, I'm probably going to pick it up. So I haven't played a God of War game since God of War 1. I think that the series hopefully can do some evolution since then. Damn, Zancudo is not messing around. Just got into the airspace a little bit there, and then they shot us down. They were probably eyeing us down. They're like, all right, stars, missile, you're going down. So here's a ooh-whopper announcement. In fact, if you have a PlayStation, you guys have to download the demo for the new Resident Evil. Yes, Resident Evil 7 is coming, and I gotta say, they're switching it up to first-person mode. That's a massive announcement coming from this E3 time of year. I did not expect that at all. I was a little bit disappointed at first. I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and to think that they're going to change the gameplay that much, and now that they have the whole VR, unfortunately, I think that they might be leaning a little bit towards the virtual reality too much. I'd rather see an old school Resident Evil style game. They do that style of gameplay all over again. I was a huge fan of Resident Evil 4, and I felt like ever since that game, it just got too action packed. Well, now they're taking the action out of it. They're making it look way more like a horror game. In fact, it kind of looks like a Slender or something like that. And we'll see if that benefits the series. It definitely looks scary. I'm just really worried about them changing it up to a first-person style game. That definitely has a lot of room for us to worry. Let me know what you guys think, and definitely let me know if you guys have played the Resident Evil demo that's available on the PlayStation, because that's pretty epic. The fact that it's already available, scary as fuck. I think that's a good sign. Whenever a game company releases their their demo of the game right off the bat, that shows you that they're really not scared at all. Che Ortega saying they just want to do VR to scare the shit out of people. I mean, definitely could be true. I'm telling you, man, I get motion sickness from that. Shout out to Colton McCann. Appreciate you guys joining up once again. Yeah, Resident Evil 4. That's one of those games, they have the Skyrim remastered. I think that they should do some sort of remastered version of Resident Evil 4, add some new gameplay mechanics and whatnot. That's one of those games that could definitely, I think that they can pull that one out again and introduce it to a whole new generation of players. So another game I want you guys to check out if you haven't seen it is Horizon Zero Dawn. I mean, that game looks like it could be one of those games that's trying to take it to the next level. Basically, you have kind of an open world game with robot dinosaurs. I love games that feature huge creatures. That's something that I've always asked for more of. Even here in GTA, I want more, massive structures, massive vehicles and whatnot. Well, games like, it's called Horizon Zero Dawn are, I think, going to start to introduce this kind of stuff. You go around riding dinosaurs and all kinds of stuff. Definitely something that I want to see more of, just a more of a grander scale. Now that we have these more powerful consoles, I think that's something that you're going to start to see more of. And Horizon Zero Dawn, that looks to be one of those games that has a massive scale in mind. So, kind of getting to the Sony virtual reality. That's one of those things that I want to see with Grand Theft Auto. With all these virtual reality games, I think that Grand Theft Auto is the biggest game when it comes to virtual reality. That's the one that could kind of do the best job, considering it's so solid on every level. Let's switch it up to first person mode. You can already see everything is so fluid. The fact that they took so much time to to kind of perfect everything just shows you that they can do the same thing with virtual reality in the game. And we'll see when that happens. When Sony does, they are releasing the official virtual reality for their console, and that means that Grand Theft Auto is going to be fully functional on a console in virtual reality. Because let's face it, when you have these PC versions and all that, it's really nothing that's perfect. Obviously, Sony getting involved, they're going to make sure it's probably going to go off without a hitch, especially if these games, they've come out with these announcements saying that they're really going to concentrate on it. Let me know if you guys are going to play Grand Theft Auto in virtual reality. I think that I'll probably, I'm not going to play too many virtual reality games, but Grand Theft Auto is the one I'm legitimately excited, because that's one of those games that, single player, it's like a movie. You're talking about playing it in virtual reality. It's going to be so expansive and, of course, fun to control all the vehicles and whatnot and see everything through the eyes of Michael, Trevor, and Franklin. That's truly epic, man. That's going to be so awesome. That's the reason to be excited for virtual reality, if you ask me. Kingdom Hearts 3, how about that one, guys? People have been so excited for that, but it's going to take forever to be released. A lot of people wanted Final Fantasy to actually be introduced a little bit more into the series, but you got to remember, man, there's so many Disney worlds out there that there's no way that they could possibly do them all. They have to pretty much do as many as they can here in Kingdom Hearts 3, because who knows when Kingdom Hearts 4 will come out, probably in 20 years. Trippy Madison coming back.
Hey guys.
Trippy Madison.
What's up?
There's a new game coming called Injustice 2. That's a sequel to Injustice 1. Basically, it's the Mortal Kombat game, but instead of controlling the Mortal Kombat characters that everybody knows, you control superheroes. Joker versus
nice.
Superman and all that. I've seen that. So I think that that could be pretty epic. An improvement on the first Injustice, which was such a good game. You know, that's probably the best fighting game coming up. Injustice 2. Who do you think would win? Superman or Batman?
Oh, Batman, definitely. Superman has superpowers. Batman has no superpowers. He's just badass.
See, we just had the movie, but it was terrible. Superman versus Batman.
Yeah.
Man, a lot of people say Superman's invincible. They don't see how Batman could ever win. But you think that Batman could beat Superman?
Definitely.
Interesting. I think Batman is smarter than Superman. If you remember the movie Superman, or I'm sorry, what is it, The Man of Steel or whatever, Superman lets his own father get killed by a tornado. If he was smarter, he would use his breath that he's used countless times to stop the tornado. Who gives a fuck if people see? I mean, come on. They're going to see him destroying buildings and all that at some point anyways. The Last Guardian is another game I know a lot of people are really looking forward to. Another game that's taken forever to be released, but that is going to happen, and it's also going to be in virtual reality. A lot of virtual reality announcements. If you guys are looking forward to new RPGs, I'm a huge fan of RPGs, but it's one of those things that I've kind of gotten away from recently. You have a new Final Fantasy coming out, as well as Persona 5. I've really wanted to get into the Persona series, but it's a huge time crunch. You know, it's going to take a lot of your time, and I probably will wait to get into the series for Persona 5. That'll probably be an epic game. I'm really looking forward to that one, as well as Final Fantasy 15. It is still not the Final Fantasy yet, guys. The fantasy continues. Final Fantasy 15. And last game I'll mention here, a new Spider-Man. I've been a big fan of some of the past Spider-Man games. What about you, Madison? Do you like Spider-Man?
I haven't been like a big fan in the past, but I can't say that I don't like him. I just haven't really followed him like Batman or...
Yeah, I hear you. The thing is, Spider-Man has been featured in games. I mean, Spider-Man 2 was basically a Grand Theft Auto game, but you control Spider-Man. You're in New York City, and instead of driving around in
that
cars...
would be cool. That reminds me of my favorite game, Assassin's Creed, where you can probably climb buildings and...
Yeah, you can use kind of like a zip cord, kind of like Spider-Man. And, you know, that's why I wanted to bring that up, because they have the new Spider-Man coming out. If it's like Spider-Man 2, and there was another game, Spider-Man it was for the Nintendo 64, the Dreamcast, and the PS1. The Great Clement just did a playthrough of it. You guys have to check that out if you haven't played that game. Super underrated, and I think that a new Spider-Man, you know, if it's anything like those games, and that means it's probably going to be one of the best games announced here at E3 2016. Really looking forward to that. An underrated franchise. Everybody loves Spider-Man. Trippy Madison, you're not the biggest fan, but you know, a lot of people like Spider-Man, especially here on YouTube. Absolutely. So to finish off, guys, I gotta say, Zelda: The Breath of the Wild. I think that is the best game from E3 2016, hands down. Looks like it's going to bring the franchise back. And it really needs to come out with a bang, because unfortunately, I'm sure 99% of the people here chilling in the live stream tonight don't even have a Nintendo Wii U. That's the problem. If they had Zelda coming out for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One, people would be mega hyped. But that's not the case. So it's got to be really good just to get people to go out and buy the new console or buy the Wii U. Unfortunately, I think for as good as the game might be, they're probably going to have a huge issue with that. It's the best game coming from E3 2016, but we'll see how many people will actually get to play it. So let me know what game you guys think is the best game coming out of E3 2016. You do have Infinite Warfare for those of you who are excited for a new Call of Duty game. I know they're going to have zombies and all that. And the new Modern Warfare Remastered, as I mentioned, a lot of people are going to be jumping into that. That is going to be amazing. Shout out to Stephen Lount. Boss Sam already gave you a shout out. Shelby Teich. A lot of people joined up. Man, the live stream is completely lit. Really appreciate you guys joining up as we play some Grand Theft Auto, talk about E3 2016 in the books. And Rockstar was nowhere to be seen. I mean, what the hell? We were really expecting a single-player DLC announcement, guys. I thought it was going to come. I thought we were finally going to get more adventures here in San Andreas, but it hasn't been announced yet. Hopefully, it is not too late. Thanks again for joining up, guys. Really appreciate you. Make sure to stay tuned. We'll have another live stream, and I have a new episode coming out for you guys. I have some things to cover. Hopefully, you are looking forward to the new games coming out, we'll make sure to cover them for you here at Trippy Commentaries. Appreciate you joining up, Trippy Madison. Thanks again.
Absolutely.
As always, my friend, make sure to stay trippy.
Trip, trip.